In a so-called free state, officials and stakeholders concoct solutions to problems often created by other bureaucrats and with little regard for infringements on the people. These stories are born at the apex of freedom and entrepreneurship. We foolishly advocate for the taxpayer. Brian's Beat presents Freedom Fools.
Hour 2 of Freedom Fools on WBSM as the crowds start to disperse after what they're calling No King's Day. How did it go where you were? Did you go to one? I've been hearing from people that have gone, and some people are saying, nah, I don't know about thousands of people over at Buttonwood Park, maybe hundreds. I don't know. I'm here. I can't see. Can't see that far. I can see. But I don't know. 508-996-0500. I wonder if this was a DEI mission. On this date in 2019, the very first all-female spacewalk. 2 astronauts, one named Mir, the other one Coke. They replaced a power controller outside of the space shuttle, the space station, International Space Station. Took until 2019 for the very first all-female spacewalk. The Brian's Beat quote of the day: when you can do the common things of life in an uncommon way, you will command the attention of the world. When you can do the common things of life in an uncommon way, you will command the attention of the world. That quote from George Washington Carver. All right, so the bulk of hour number 1 was about the No Kings rally rallies, I should say, taking place. We heard from a person calling from Dartmouth. And by the way, most of the people that we heard from, they may have been going by the event. They're not necessarily supporters of the No Kings rally or rallies, but they've been out there and they see what's going on, and they're reporting to me what they see. I have also asked, at least during hour number 1, I asked if there are any rallies that we would call a pro-Trump supporter type rally going on today. I do recall before I went on a 2-week vacation back in June that there was such an event that was going on. Somebody actually called me up to let me know, oh, by the way, I've been hearing you talking about this other, it wasn't called No Kings at that time, but this other rally. And I just want you to know, Trump supporters are getting together, and we're having our own rally at the same intersection, Fonts Corner and Route 6, same day, almost the exact same time. But I haven't heard from anybody this time around saying that they're doing something similar. So maybe they being the Trump supporters have just figured out, maybe we shouldn't rally on the same day. We can stand across the street from each other and shout at each other, no, you're bad people. No, we're bad people. No, you're bad. You know, that kind of stuff. But apparently they didn't want to do that today. 508-996-0500. Thank you and hello.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So was that Marlene Pollock that you had calling there?
Yep.
Earlier?
Yes.
Wow. Coalition for Social Justice. I wouldn't be surprised as to what her reaction would be, which is to, be very supportive of a rally where they want to get money for illegal aliens to have healthcare insurance. So I figured she'd call in, but I'm glad she's happy. And I wouldn't expect any Antifa to be out there. They're not up yet. It's 2:00. I mean,
do you think they were too busy last night?
Yeah, Antifa is the night crowd. This is the grandpa, grandma, low energy, geriatric crowd that's out there that's, singing and having a good time. And hey, more power to them. That's cool. But it's not going to budge the needle, because if you just look at the amount of Democratic voters that voted against Trump in the last election, because I don't even know if anyone voted for Kamala Harris, but they voted against Trump. This is such a small number or percentage even of that voter base that it's just a non-issue, thing. I'm glad people are out getting out of the house and having a good time and meeting people. And
it's a sunny day.
Feeling good. Huh?
It's a sunny day.
That's a beautiful thing. And, they're exercising their First Amendment rights. But there never was a king. It's not just the revolution. So good luck with that one.
Well, I got to tell you right now, in Boston, who do you think is at the podium?
The king?
No.
Who's that?
Elizabeth Queen
Mary
Warren.
Richards. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, she's a treat.
And to her left, Ed Markey.
Oh yeah, Ed Markey is literally like he's a Joe Biden clone. He's following anybody that's progressive around to just stay relevant. So he's gonna get primaried out by Seth Moulton.
He might. He might. Yeah. Look. I think the Democrats hedged their bet. They're going to say that they're supporting Markey, but if Moulton wins, guess where they're going to flock?
Oh, of course. He's got military record background. He's got enough of the things, and he's a little more centrist. Markey used to be kind of centrist, but he turned into a total progressive, following AOC around like a lapdog.
You follow the money.
Well, actually, I would follow AOC around personally. It's kind of cute.
Yeah,
but,
true.
I wouldn't. Don't believe in what she has to say, but
you don't have to listen to her.
Nope, don't have to listen to her. But that's the difference between marriage and dating. You got to listen when you're married. You know that.
I guess that's true.
That's her. My wife's sitting right next to me, so I gotta be careful.
You know what? And woman friends listening, so be quiet.
I'm not trying to get you in trouble.
Okay, sure you're not.
If I could, I would. You know that.
Yeah. Look, so are there?
ahead.
You're down in South Carolina. Are there any?
Yep.
Are there any of these events going on down there?
I'm in the center of Spartanburg, which is one of the bigger areas in the upstate. Greenville, Spartanburg is pretty large, and I'm driving around through all the major shopping areas because we're out looking for a rug, and there's nobody on any street corners at all. So maybe they're in a special place, maybe like
yeah, really, a real special place.
Well, you know what I'm saying. I mean, like a Freedom Park or something, but they're definitely not.
I thought you were going to say the Gaza Strip.
Oh no, I wasn't going to say that. But it's kind of quiet. But it's a little more conservative down here too. I mean, there's liberals for sure, but the first thing people said to me when I moved down here, especially old timers, and one of the first guys I met was born 6 months after I was, so we're pretty much the same age. He goes, "Well, you didn't bring your politics with you, did you?" And I said, "Of course not." And they said, "Good. Welcome to South Carolina." So,
yeah.
So anyway,
I can believe that. People have said the same thing about Florida and Texas. So why not? And Arizona too.
Did you see the debate with Mondami and the mayor potentials of New York?
Just a bit. I didn't stay up for it.
Do you know who won that debate?
I think it's a toss-up as to who won the debate.
I think Florida won.
Yeah. Did you tell me that before?
No.
Okay. Then somebody else did because I did hear that.
Yeah. No, I think they're projecting 500,000 families moving out of New York if Mondami gets elected. And the price in the last 6 months, the price of home values in Westchester, which is just outside of the city, has gone up 20% for people that have to stay in New York and are moving outside of the city, outside of the tax zone.
Well, why would they go to Westchester County? I mean, there's so many other places to go. Westchester County is not inexpensive.
No, it's not. But I think there's people living in. There already have been people living in like southern Connecticut, Fairfield County, Connecticut, and Bradford, New York, and Westchester. But I think if you're tied to a big business, you're getting out of the city. And at least that's what I'm reading. But we'll see.
And then you got to try to get back in to go to work.
Yeah. Well, listen. Have a happy No King's Day, whatever that means, and we'll. I'm sure we'll be just fine tomorrow, Brian.
I think. Well, maybe not tomorrow, but Monday. Tomorrow's Sunday. Yeah. It's a day of rest.
Yeah. Well,
football.
Heading for church, and I'll feel good about that.
All right.
Yeah, football. All right,
Sounds
amigo.
good. Thank you for the call. 508-996-0500 to get onto the program. Freedom Fools. I wonder if there's anybody else that calls in today that was at any of the protests. I don't care if it's New Bedford or, I don't know, Timbuktu. I wonder how much the phrase freedom came up. Are people fighting for freedom or return of their freedoms? I did read a loss of First Amendment rights, but a loss of rights, while it is devastating, I don't hear people really chanting for freedom. You hear in my music beds that I play, freedom, freedom. Richie Havens talking about that back in 1969. Same year, Jimi Hendrix did the same thing with his song Freedom. Talking about freedom is held different than talking about losing maybe your First Amendment rights. 508-996-0500. Are you there? Or did I hit the wrong button? Sorry, I saw you there. But anyway, so it's interesting. People, they're thinking they're losing their First Amendment rights. And I'm not saying that the president isn't chipping away at them. But wouldn't you like to hear some of these protesters say, look, we are out here fighting for freedom. We are losing our freedoms. I don't hear that. And I guess I really do want to hear it, and I'm not hearing it. Hello. Uh-oh. Sounds like you got a frog in your throat.
Yeah, how you doing, Brian?
I am. How are you?
Hanging in there. Many people believe that this whole King's Rally is grassroots. But actually, it was started by Alice Walton, billionaire heiress of Walmart, the only daughter of Sam Walton. And she's been funding millions of dollars to these No King rallies, and she established the No King website to get all these people up in arms and create anarchy and chaos. And somebody mentioned it, that George Soros and his son Alex Soros, billionaires, also funding millions of dollars to different NGOs. Open Society Foundation, Coalition for Social Justice, Coalition for Humane Immigrant Rights. The Teachers Union is also the UTLA Teachers Unions involved, many other teachers unions, and the LIEU, International Electricians Union. So this is not grassroots. These are people behind who are trying to foment insurrection and anarchy.
Now, just because these dollars are being put into these unions, it doesn't mean that insurrection is on their mind.
Well, there's always the useful idiots, and then they have the college students through their sororities and fraternities. They recruit them and say, come down to the rallies. We'll give you free pizzas and soda. Or you can go down. We'll go down in the corner, Font's Corner, and we'll give you free food at Chick-fil-A or Taco Bell, whatever you want.
So you don't think that happens? You don't think that happens on the other side when they do a rally? You don't think that people are giving to their particular NGO, and then they say, "Come on down. We'll feed you. We'll make sure you've got Pepsi or whatever the case may be."
We'll feed you. We'll get you on a plane. We'll get you on a bus. We'll pay for your hotel expenses for you to come down. Thank you, George Soros and Alex Soros and Alice Walton. Thank you very much.
You don't think the Koch brothers do the same thing?
The Koch brothers, yeah, all of them.
Okay.
Whether it's an extreme right, extreme left.
There you go. I mean, so it's a zero-sum game. That's what they all do.
But they're playing with the future of this nation. They're trying to get both sides of the American people that are, put it this way, most Americans, 60 to 65% of Americans are in the middle. They're trying to polarize and say, you know what, you got to take sides. So they can go one against another. And these extreme groups, the Marxists, the communists, whoever in the extreme Republican right, what do they call the neocons, so they can continue to hold power and control the masses or to change our form of government. This is what this is all about. But you have useful idiots, college students that they use, and then you got old hippies from the 1960s. And all of a sudden
Hey, you leave those hippies from the 60s alone.
Yeah, but they're involved in that.
How am I involved? How am I involved?
You're a hippie from the 60s, Ryan?
Actually, hippie from the 70s, but...
You were a flower child?
No. Didn't do the flowers.
Did you go...
Yeah, I rolled around in the mud when I was playing football.
Did you go to Woodstock and roll around in the mud and have a good time?
No. I was too young for Woodstock.
Then you're not a hippie then.
Oh.
Flower power and all that baloney. LSD.
Yeah, there's plenty of LSD around. Not that I took any, but...
You didn't belong to the Weather Underground?
No, couldn't weather that.
No. Well, they're coming out of hibernation. They're coming here. They want to get the young crowd in college. Like they were rabble-rousers back in the day, spitting at our veterans coming back from Vietnam. And it's the old dog doing the old tricks to try to bamboozle the young kids and say, come in and do your part. So people are brainwashed, especially the younger people, low info, and they believe everything they're being told.
Okay, I got you.
There's big money, Brian. Big money behind this.
I think there's big money behind all of these things. I would agree with you on that. That this is not grassroots.
Absolutely. So we have to be on guard for those who want to change and uproot our constitutional republic. Believe me, there's many people on the right and the left that would be happy if that happened tomorrow.
Let me ask you something. Just going to throw this in there. Charlie Kirk, do you think that he was a part of that?
I think Charlie Kirk was mostly a Christian, and he was professing too much Christianity, and I think people within the far right probably gave him an ultimatum and says, keep it down. I don't think that guy who's being accused of shooting him did it, because he was shot from the backside. And there's a video footage that was put out there, a guy at the top of a building hiding behind a flower. It was like a flower plant. One bullet through the back of the neck and came out the side of his shoulder. So, I think this was an inside job, to tell you the truth. I think he was preaching too much.
Gotcha. Thanks for the call.
All right, Brian.
I do appreciate
you have a good day.
You too. Bye now. One more before the break. Hello.
Hey, good afternoon, Brian. How are you?
I am. How are you? Oh, hold on. Tuesday, 7 o'clock, town meeting.
Tuesday, 7 o'clock, town meeting.
Yep.
All right. So I'm going to try to get that day off.
I'm gonna go right from the station over there.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. I kind of think differently than what you think. I don't think my liberties are being chipped away. And this is my opinion. I don't want to argue this, but I just feel that our liberties were chipped away 4 years ago, when we have proof that the former president was going after people on Facebook and sanctioning people about the whole COVID thing and going after Christians and everything else. It's all documented. So, if anything, our freedoms were being chipped away in the last administration. This administration here, people, I fully support those people that are protesting. It's their right. But let's call it for what it is. It's not a No Kings rally. It's a I hate Trump rally. Just say what it is. You hate Trump, and that's fine. And that's fine. But the problem I have is this, and here's the problem I have with all of this. If we were to start a rally here, which just a couple of weeks ago, they had a rally in Boston to support Charlie Kirk in Boston, and those people were attacked. The police told the actual people that were doing the actual function that we can't protect you, that you should leave. Okay, that's the problem I have. If I went to Butwood Park and had my own protest and say, I support ICE, how long do you think it'll last if they go to our cars and vandalize our cars and everything else? That's the problem I have. It's not equal in these liberal states. People have a different form of opinion who are in the minority get attacked. That's the problem we have in our country. Our rights are being chipped away. Our rights are being chipped away by radicals on the left and the right. But for some reason on the left, you can't even have a conversation. But you can say what you want about people like on the right, but they're polite enough to listen. They may not agree with you, but they'll listen to you. I've talked to people on the left who just walk away yelling at me. And I'm talking to you the same way I talk to them about politics. We can't even talk politics. They just flip out. It's like something changes in them. It's almost like a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde kind of thing. It's weird. So let's call it for what it is. I hate Trump. It's not about freedoms. I'm sorry. I disagree. I support ICE fully. And the reason why this is happening, these people are being rounded up like people who they're not looking for this and that, because these sanctuary cities are doing this on purpose. They could work with the police. The police. Have you noticed, like in Florida and Texas and places that are working with the law enforcement, you don't see these incidents as much as in Chicago, as in New York, as in California, as in Massachusetts, because they're doing it on purpose. The Democrats, they want the stories. They know innocent people are going to be rounded up when they're going after the other people, and they're breaking the law. They're still illegal.
Isn't that happening right now? That innocent people are being rounded up with the bad folk.
They're innocent because they're not criminals, but they're still breaking the law if they're illegal.
They're innocent. I'm telling you that there are people that aren't illegal that are being rounded up. It's happening right here in. That. Oh, yes, you have. Yes, you have. That incident that happened in the North End where the guy was yanked out of the car. That's a classic example.
He was here illegally.
No, he was not here illegally. Excuse me. He came in here illegally. Hold on. He came in illegally, but he was in the court process because he's married to somebody who is here legally. And the paperwork was in, and ICE knew the paperwork was in. Plus, ICE was not looking for that particular person. They were looking for somebody else. They didn't even want to look at that guy's paperwork.
So it could have been mistaken identity.
But it's more than one time. And that's the thing. All you have to do is use your own due process to figure it out. But they didn't want to do that. That's one of the reasons why people are protesting.
But you think that that's the major reason why people are right now at Butwood Park protesting? You actually
I think that's one of the reasons. I think that there are a smattering of reasons.
I hate Trump.
But that is a part of hating Trump. Trump is the one that is allowing it to happen.
That's the majority of it, Brian. You know that. I know that. I mean, honestly, Brian, when it comes to this, we wouldn't be in this situation to begin with if we had the president who just enforced the borders the way they were under the previous administration. And he didn't. He opened the way.
I'm not going to argue that. I'm not arguing that.
So if you're telling me, I believe what you said, because if you're saying something, it is true, so I do believe you, mistakes are going to be made. But it goes back again. I support fully what ICE is doing because innocent people in our country died and should have never died. They've been attacked who should have been attacked.
So you know what you're saying? You know what you're saying? Two wrongs kind of make a right.
When it comes, mistakes are going to be made. But if the mistakes are being made, ICE aren't going out there with bad intentions, okay? They're not. I really believe that. These are people who have wives, children. And it's funny how they say that they're going after brown people. The majority of ICE agents are brown and Hispanic, especially south of our country. They're mostly Hispanic and blacks who are actually ICE agents. So I can't stand when they say they're going after brown people. No, they're going after everybody. It's just it seems to be a lot of brown people because a lot of people came from Central America. It makes sense. A majority of people came from that part of the world. Of course, they're going to be darker. It's nothing to do with color. I'm so tired of race being included in everything.
Well,
it is what it is.
You're right. It is what it is. So you're using brown people to round up brown people. But here's what I am saying it. I am saying it. It is like the Trump administration deciding to pay millions of dollars to Kenya to have their troops go over to Haiti so they could watch the Haitians and shoot them at will.
No, the difference is that the ICE agents are not being recruited. They're taking the job because it's a great job. They're paying, I guess, a $50,000 bonus now to be an ICE agent. These people have bounties on their head. I saw a whole walkthrough, a ride along on YouTube. The YouTuber's last name is Shirley. Is a gentleman, a young person who actually went on both sides. He was actually near the protest in Chicago that actually happened. The protest at that ICE agent. He was right there in the front lines. Then he went on a ride along with two agents. And so the chaos that happens. They call people. They got this guy who was actually a criminal in a parking lot. It was a store parking lot, and they've been putting Apple tags on the ICE cars to follow them, and then they put all over the phones that they're coming. And then when they come, these people shout out of nowhere, start honking their horns, yelling, so people start running. And then other people start getting out of their cars and say, oh, it's me, and they're all running. Total chaos in these ICE agents. And they were saying how they got bounties on their head anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000. The people who don't have masks, one of their partners didn't have a mask on. Guess what? There's a bounty on his head for $10,000 now to kill him. That's why these people have masks. They're being targeted. So I understand.
So to be clear, that shouldn't happen, correct?
But it does.
To be clear.
So what do we do?
To be clear.
We're going to protect our people.
Hold on. To be clear, that should not happen, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, this is going to seem a bit extreme. Then why do we allow our president to put a bounty on Maduro?
On Maduro in Venezuela?
Yes.
You're talking about the president of Venezuela?
Yes.
Because he's a known guy that's letting the drug cartels flourish, and he's sending the poison to our country.
No, I don't know that he is sending poison into. We're told that's what's going on. All right. Again, you don't put a hit out on the guy. You at best you confiscate him and bring him back here and give him a damn trial. You don't blow up boats in the water. These are reasons why people are upset, hateful of Donald Trump, and they're out protesting today.
I could agree to disagree. You know, I understand.
Well, you already said that folks hate Donald Trump, and I would agree with you.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah, yes, they do. But let's look at what he done so far. He hasn't gotten us in any wars. He's trying to get us out of wars.
200 people in Israel right now.
200 people what?
200 soldiers in Israel.
Yeah,
and we've got a lot of the Navy in the Caribbean right around Venezuela right now.
Yeah, and I know that as like a blockade to prevent the drugs from coming out. But again, that right there in Venezuela, that's national interest. The poison is too much. I mean, if you want to...
If there were drugs coming in from down there, that would be one thing. There's no proof to that. And one way you could get proof is to bring these people into court and try to prove it. Why do you think they don't want them coming into court?
They can't catch them. First of all,
so they just blow up the ship. They can't catch. I'm talking about the boats that they're blowing up in the water. A submarine the other day.
That they blew up a submarine, you said?
Yes.
I'm sorry?
Yes.
Oh, that's the first I heard of that. I could agree with you there. That's one thing that they should do is they should try to apprehend the ships, and if they don't yield, they should be warned, and if they don't warn, then do what you got to do. That I do agree. That I don't understand why he's doing that. That I do agree with you.
Well, how about this?
Should have proof of that.
If there is a boat that is trying to come to the United States with drugs on it, apprehend the boat when it gets in U.S. waters, not international waters, not Venezuelan waters, and don't blow up a Colombian boat and try to tell us that it's a Venezuelan boat.
Yeah, it's that I do agree with you. That about the submarine, I had no idea about that. That's the first I heard of it. But if you're saying it, I do believe you. But
thank you.
I do, because you're not the type of person that just uses propaganda. So I do believe it, and I do agree with you. That's one thing I don't understand either about the ship thing. That's one thing I wish that they would just try to apprehend the ship, and then if all else fails, then they got to stop that ship if they really believe it's drugs. But that I don't get. But like when it comes to the ICE situation, that's why I strongly disagree with you. I support ICE 100% because I know it's going to happen. If a Democratic president gets in this next administration, if we don't try to get as much as we can cleared out, we're back to stage one again. Because they want the open borders.
How about we get a Congress to come up with a damn policy so we don't have to worry about a president overstepping bounds?
As soon as we take the money out of politics, that's when we get a real Congress.
Good luck with that,
and we
man.
get term limits.
Good luck with that.
And term limits.
By the way, pay me when that happens.
Listen, the only way that it's going to change is term limits on every form of office, from local dog catcher all the way as it is now to the president. Term limits on everything, because when you give people too much time in office, they become corrupt. I don't care how good the person is; they become some point of corruption happens.
Gotcha.
That's what they got to do, and the money has to be taken out. But that's not going to happen. So the best thing is that we can do. The biggest freedom that's taken away from us that people don't realize, to me, as a working person, which I'm going off to work right now, is taxation. That's what people should be upset about. You want to talk about taking away your freedom? Every tax takes away more hope of your future.
Gotcha.
And this taxation in certain states are getting worse and worse, especially our state.
All right, man. Thank you.
Good conversation. Thank you.
I'll see you Tuesday night.
Yes, you will. I hope. Bye-bye.
508-996-0500. I see you there. Please be patient. I'm going to get to you.
It will be because we organized and forced a government to speak to our needs.
This is WBSM.
The government may be shut down. Legitimate business funding remains open. See for yourself at legitimatebusinessfunders.com. Legitimatebusinessfunders.com.
People ask all the time, who the heck is Low Cost Airlines? Well, we're not just one airline. When you're talking to us, you're talking to everyone. We are the discount supermarket for all airline tickets. Plus, we have all the airlines and always have the best prices. American, Delta, United, plus all the specialized international airlines, and a lot more. And we make it easy. We guarantee you'll talk to a live human in 60 seconds. You can have the rates you need and have your trip booked in 5 minutes. Now, how cool is that? And remember, when you're talking to us, it's like talking to every single airline available with one fast phone call. All you need to do is call and find the best prices to fly wherever it is you want to go. So are you ready? Call Low Cost Airlines right now. 800-221-6085. 800-221-6085. 800-221-6085. That's 800-221-6085.
There's no better fool than the Freedom Fools. Now, back to Brian.
I said a government's a way, way, way too big. Government's a way, way, way too big. You know that government's a way, way, way too big. So tell us what you gonna do to make it small. Your move.
I've been about bringing more gas supply into Massachusetts. I never stopped pipelines.
Remember, I stopped 2 gas pipelines from coming into this state.
We go from the two sides of Maura Healey to the one side of this caller. Hello.
Hello. I
Hello.
guess that's me.
That's you.
Okay. I have a question about this money in the bill for health care for illegal immigrants.
Money in the bill for health care for illegal aliens. Go ahead.
The thing
I'll try my
you were
best.
talking about, the caller was talking about just about 10 minutes ago.
Go ahead. What's your question?
Right? That's the people's concerns, that there's health care money for illegal immigrants. I think that's what I heard.
I think you did hear that, yes.
Okay. Do you know if that includes annual wellness visits, prescription plans, specialists, dental, anything like that?
I think it's supposed to. I think what it's supposed to do is not include anything, the cut.
Oh, that's right. But what if it's not cut? What does it include?
Well, only from what I can see here in the Commonwealth, it seems to include regular visits that people are taking.
And that's federal money in the bill to
so
take
federal
care
money
of,
comes in, and then it subsidizes what the state pays through the what's the program called? Come on, Mass Health here in the Commonwealth.
Oh, it was my understanding that the money for that is only for emergency room visits for, let's say, illegal immigrants. No other kind of health care.
But if you don't have a regular doctor, where do you end up going?
The emergency room.
Well.
So if someone comes, regardless of status, but let's say an illegal immigrant shows up at the emergency room, they've been stabbed or shot, it's against the law.
How about they have
turn them
tonsillitis?
Well, then they can turn them away, but not for gunshot wounds.
Yeah, but you see, they've got coverage because of here in the Commonwealth, we give them coverage, and it's subsidized by, or was anyway, subsidized by the federal government.
Coverage for emergency rooms?
No, I think they get coverage for just about anything like we do.
No.
No?
Okay, how does this bill, as passed, affect the health care of millions of American citizens? Any cuts there for them?
I do believe that there are.
Any increased costs for them?
I do believe that there is.
Okay.
Excuse me. Let me hold on. Hold on a second.
All right,
I have not read the whole thing or much of it. I'm only going on what I'm hearing. So I am hearing that there are going to be steep costs for seniors and folks that have been used to getting some of these subsidized payments. Yep. So that's why I'm answering the way that I am.
Okay. So I'm postulating that it's a canard to only bring up the illegal aliens. It's a sliver of money, but really what's going to happen is millions of Americans are going to get screwed, and they're going to have to pay a lot more money for health care. The illegal immigration thing, getting coverage, is always brought up, but never the millions of Americans, because people just keep hearing about the illegal immigrants.
Fair.
And
that's a very fair statement, and I think that should be highlighted even more. And thank you for bringing that up.
Well, thanks a lot.
All right. I appreciate the call. Couple of things that Brian, the Libertarian, is hearing, and I know I've brought this up before, but maybe this caller helped me to kind of like hit that light bulb. Ford's got a better idea. Click. The problem is, never mind that healthcare is going to folks that are undocumented, illegal, whatever the slice of pie is for today. The problem is that our tax dollars are going to fund who knows healthcare to the point that you can't fund your own healthcare, the kind of healthcare that you want. If you are a senior, your arm has been twisted to get onto Medicare, and there's a set fee. Now they've got these advantage plans, of which, to be honest with you, I don't know if there's really an advantage or not, but we're led to believe with the name Advantage that there is some advantage. And yet, woman friend told me that the Advantage plan price has gone up. How much? I don't know. want to be on that crap, but I don't know. And why is this happening? It's because federal government in this particular case, has the control. You complain about DEI. Well, why is that happening? Because federal government has the control and they pass that down to the states. You want some of this money that we've taken from your residents and maybe you can use it to build a bridge? Well, you got to make sure you've got DEI in place so you can build that bridge to nowhere or maybe over to Cape Cod, whatever the case may be. We have so many different government programs, federal programs in particular. And I say federal in particular because as Brian reads the Constitution, the federal government, there is no spot in the federal government for health care or for controlling health care. The reason why you might see Blue Cross Blue Shield, it's Blue Cross Blue Shield of Massachusetts, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Vermont, because states control insurance and health care. So where is Brian going with all of this? We could really minimize the federal government, maybe even get the federal government to a part-time status. I'm not going to hold my breath on anything like that. But if we were able to take some of the money back, now we're in a state here, the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, where the power not delegated in the Constitution to the federal government lies within the state and or the people. 10th Amendment, read it and understand it. Read it and understand it. Comprehend it. We live in a state that has, I remember it was called Romney Care way back when. If the people of the Commonwealth voted in a Romney Care, I would be less inclined to be against it. But it didn't happen that way. It happened because our government leaders here in the Commonwealth voted it in. And that's why I'm vehemently against it. If the people wanted, I would still probably fight it, but I would be willing. The people voted it in. That's what they want. It's just like this thing with MCAS. We voted it out. And what do we see? We see Bacon Hill lawmakers, in particular, the Healy administration, going through the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education to try to throw another plan to replace MCAS. Oh, that's right. We fought MCAS, but we didn't fight what MCAS did, so they can just throw it. This is what's happening. You've got people who are correctly upset that they voted to have the auditor audit the legislature. And what is the legislature doing? They are pooping on our plate. They're saying, eat that. And I know folks are upset, and you're probably upset at me for saying something like that, but damn it, that's what's happening. We allow it to happen. And we can say, well, the Democrats or the Democrat or the Republicans. The problem is we don't have an active third party here in the Commonwealth or in the country to try to balance all of this off. We have a federal government, back when Donald Trump ran, and I was against him back in 15 and 16 when he was running, he was talking about draining the swamp. When was the last time you heard anybody in the Trump administration talk about draining the swamp? It was a great phrase. I like the draining of the swamp. Barry, myself, and a few others, Chris, what did we do here? We even had Howie come into town. We did a drain the Massachusetts swamp thing. What's happened to that? We have given up the ship. And so one caller might say, I like what ICE is doing. Another person says they don't. But nobody ever stops to say, what does the Constitution say about this? and try fighting it from that particular angle. People are, Trump should send the National Guard into Portland or Chicago or Boston because the people don't like the crime. And I sit here and say, well, you've got a lot of people in these communities that don't want it. But number two, the police seem to be handling the job. Maybe not to your expectations, but they're handling the job. What does Donald Trump do? He doesn't care what the people say. He doesn't care what the mayor say. He doesn't care what the governor says. He's going to try to fight it all the way up to in fact, he's doing it right now, up to the U.S. Supreme Court. And he might win. And as I said before, if that vote is 6-3, that's what he's hoping for in my mind. That's what he's hoping for. 6-3, get the people pissed off some more. Because he is already, he's got on a string and a carrot, the Insurrection Act. If I need to, I'll institute the Insurrection Act. And if he does, what do you think is going to happen to the 2026 election? What do you think is going to happen to it? Okay. What about the 2028 election? This is the president who stated prior to being reelected, or Trump 2.0, whatever you want to call it, that if you vote for me this time, you'll never have to vote again. Now, should we take him at face value? Or should we just say, oh, it's Trump talking? That is one of the reasons. In fact, what I just listed there are the reasons that you have people coast to coast, border to border, out protesting today. 2,500 different sites from what I read, or 2,600. I don't know how many people, but my guess is hundreds of thousands out protesting. Now, is that a drop in the bucket compared to 74 million people that voted for him back in November? Yes, probably is. But as we like to say, how many of that 74 million, if they knew back then what Donald Trump would be doing as we sit here on October 18th, 2025, do you think that they still would have? Or how many would have voted for him? I guess maybe that's a better way of looking at it. 508-996-0500, Freedom Fools on WBSM.
This is an act of terror.
This is WBSM.
Here's what's happening this weekend on Town Square Sunday. We've got news about the Sea Glass Theater Company. We'll speak with Artistic Director Patrice Tiedemann about the history of the theater group and two upcoming performances on October 25th and 26th, titled And the Beat Goes On, 100 Years of Cabaret Music. Also, New Bedford Light columnist Jack Spillane stops by with his thoughts about the New Bedford preliminary election. A few surprises there. And Jack has finally unraveled the mystery surrounding longevity pay for elected officials in New Bedford. Been going on for 35 years. I'm Jim Phillips. Join me every Sunday morning at 6 and 11 for Town Square Sunday. 1420 WBSM, 99.5 FM.
Low-cost air helps you find the best airfares, foreign and domestic. Low-cost air, 800-221-6085. Low-cost air, 800-221-6085.
Freedom Fools on WBSM. Here's more with Brian Thomas.
Freedom, that's what I want.
I wanted to show the rabbis that Gaza is not something beyond reach.
508-996-0500. Hello.
Hi, Brian. How are you?
I am okay. How are you?
Good. Long-time listener, third-time caller.
Third. Here's one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I passed by the No Kings event today. Did you see anything about that?
I did.
Turnout.
Yeah, the pictures are unbelievable. I'm just hoping that bridge doesn't collapse.
Yeah, it didn't. I saw everybody exit the bridge, and it never collapsed. And there was a gentleman who was also beeping, and he had his Trump flag, but the vibes are good. It was a real coming together event, all the sides.
So what got you to go out?
I just heard about it. A friend told me about it, and I was like, let's just go see what's there and what's happening. And it's so close to Halloween. Everybody was dressed up, and it was fun.
With the state of today's economy, it's more important than ever to invest in products that last for years to come. As the seasons shift and get cooler, make sure your closet is stocked with durable layers that stand the test of time from American Giant. American Giant's clothes work harder and are wearable season after season. Their greatest hoodie ever made is made from the highest quality materials that are cut and sewn right here in the United States. So you're investing right back in your local community. Choosing American Giant means taking a stand for American manufacturing and hardworking Americans, something other mega corporations don't care about. From fleece to knit, all in a range of colors for versatile daily wear, American Giant delivers everyday pieces designed for everyday life. Feel the difference of quality, made-to-last clothes from American Giant. Get 20% off your first order with code STAPLE20 at American-Giant.com. That's 20% off your first order at American-Giant.com with code STAPLE20.